Hi, friends. Thanks for stopping by to check this out. I did this preamble for the Vibrationship course because what I found is not everybody has the money to sort of buy the course. And so I figured if I took a course that I completed in 2024 and shared it one episode at a time for a low price, then people could try session one and see if it interests them, and then they could go on to session two or even paycheck to paycheck, right? How many of us have lived that story? So at $35, you get as many or as few of the sessions as you want. It just felt like a way to make it accessible. There's certainly benefits to the live course where you get the online community and things like that. But I don't know about you, but after Scott initially passed, when I had time was when the kids were fed and in bed, and it was 11:30 at night. So I did a lot of my watching of podcasts and I did a lot of my reading late at night or very early in the morning, not when a class would have been scheduled, right? So I'm sorry for not showing my face, but I figured I want to reinforce I'll pop onto the camera in a minute, but I wanted to just talk about what this vibrationship course is, but I think it's important to give you where the word came from. So fast forwarding from Scott passed and the desperation and the grief and the confusion, and then wondering, does he still exist somewhere, and do I have access to him in that place wherever he is, and is continuity of consciousness a real thing? And so I began exploring that. But if we fast forward to once I was able to validate that, yes, cross-cultural what am I saying? Cross-veil communication was possible, then I began to have conversations with him. And so one day I asked him, okay, when you were here, we had a relationship. Now you're here all the time. What is this? What do we have? And he says, we have a vibration ship. Oh, that's so great. I was so excited because I'd never heard that word before. And so, because I'm the girl who needs the definition, I said, but what is that? What is a vibration ship? And because he knows me and he knows the left brain part of me, he said, meaningful connectivity between two people on different vibrational octaves. Meaningful connectivity between two people on different vibrational octaves. So if you think about an octave on a piano, low C to high C is just 8 notes, if we include the first one and the last one. And that's really from flat foot to tippy toe, right? That's not a huge leap. We have a little distance to travel to facilitate this cross-veil communication. But to build the vibration ship was a new concept for me. The idea that I had a choice. I could move on without Scott, or I could move forward with him. I choose to move forward with him, even though the vibration ship, the relationship looks very different now than it did when he had a physical body in this 3D reality. It is tangible, it is real, it is learnable. I'm living proof that this is learnable. And I think that my humble opinion is there's a lot of misunderstanding, perhaps, about that it's hard or it's going to take a really long time. I think that, if you have, I don't know, let's say you want to nail a nail into a wall to hang a picture, let's say. And if all you have is a loaf of bread, not a hammer, then it's a harder task than if you have the right tool, which is the hammer. If you have the hammer, you have the nail, you have the wall, lickety split, you've got the task done. But if all you have is your hand or a loaf of bread, you're sort of stuck, right? You can't accomplish the task. And what I find is we're swimming in a community, a spiritual community, where sometimes it's almost like the myth of it, it's going to be hard or it's going to take a really long time, gets perpetuated and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if my understanding is that it doesn't have to be hard or take a really long time, but you do need tools, and the tools aren't rocket science. They're not brain surgery. They don't have to be difficult tools. They don't have to, and they're not hard to learn. They are learnable. And if we ask spirit for help, they're learnable at an accelerated rate, is my assertion. So, what is this vibrationship course? The vibrationship course is about how do we create what Scott said, meaningful connectivity between two people on different vibrational octaves. If I'm on low C and Scott's on high C, how do we bridge that gap? How do we create communication? Is it two cans and a string, like when we were kids? But it is possible to create this vibrationship. And what ultimately, for me, the vibrationship means is we're going forward together and we're creating something new that is unique to us. And the purpose of the course is to give you tools outside the box, often considered novel concepts and ideas and strategies for how you build your unique vibrationship with those you love across the veil. And so I want to tell you first what it's not. This isn't a mediumship course specifically. Mediumship is a component of it, but I've really steered away myself from the idea of mediumship into cross-veil communication, because mediumship is a subset of cross-veil communication in my sort of construct of it. And that subset is I'm going to communicate as a medium with your loved ones across the veil, and I'm going to provide evidence. That's great. We do like evidential mediumship. But cross-veil communication is a higher order, and that is, it's a two-way communication. It isn't just me sitting with a medium, you sitting with a medium, and they're conveying information as though they have the phone in their hand, and they're telling you what the person on the phone is saying. This is you having real-time communication yourself. You don't have to want to become a medium. You certainly, I believe that the vibrationship course will enhance your mediumship if mediumship is your avocation and your intention. But if you just want to connect across the veil, whether that's with, loved ones that have departed or other points of consciousness, all of that is possible. And I guess that it's as though, I haven't really thought about this before, but it's as though mediumship is a radio, right? The music is coming out of the radio, but I can't speak back to the radio and have my message get to Barry Manilow or Justin Bieber or whatever. It's a one-way communication, right? Whereas cross-veil communication implies multi-directionality. I can communicate with them, they can communicate with me. And so we aren't going to have breakout sessions. There are no, there's no, I'm going to practice with someone else, because back to when I was dealing with Scott's graduation from Earth School, I didn't really have anybody to practice with. I had to practice with myself and I had to practice with the spirit world. So the exercises and the things we talk about are about how you can build that by yourself without having to need, it's nice to have a community, make no mistake, but you need to be able to have these tools on your own and how to use them. You don't want to have the hammer and you need to have the handyman come over every time you need to use the hammer. That's not practical to everyday life. So one thing I will say, and if you go to my website, which is where you found this video, mysticrichness.com, and you click on, I think it's press and media. If you click on that tab, the link at the top is to my YouTube channel. On there is the Gematria Spirit Communication course. I really recommend you watch that video because that will enhance what it is that I'm talking about. We'll have lots of references throughout this 10-week course about Gematria. And if you don't have an understanding of what that is, it will be less helpful. And just, a little word about the gematria. And some people say gematria, some with a hard G, some say it with a soft G. Either way is fine. But it's a tool, and you have to think about it like it's a muscle, and you have to develop the muscle in order to be able to use the tool efficiently. So a lot of times people say, well, I try and I don't really get anything. Well, you don't start working out today and have the beautiful six-pack abs tomorrow, right? There's some frequency of use will lead you to the treasure. Frequency of digging will lead you to the treasure, right? So the course in and of itself, these 10 classes are the encapsulation of what the Vibrationship course is. And there's lots of information. They're part of the reason for this preamble is I didn't anticipate packaging this up in this way. So when each of the 10 sessions starts, there's no fancy, page like you're looking at now. I just go straight into talking to the class. And so I wanted there to be some cover page, if you will, so that you at least see, you have a starting point, which is this free introductory video. And my recommendation, if this interests you at all, is just watch day one. Just see if that speaks to you. And today it might speak to you, and it'll be 6 months or a year before day two interests you. But I wanted them to be broken down. I know that there's some places that sell it like, here, you have to buy the packet of 10. Well, what happens if you don't want 10? I want you to be able to purchase what you want. I do recommend purchasing them. If you're going to purchase all 10, purchase them in order. If you go out of order, there's a cumulative effect that is built into the teaching methodology. And so if you don't watch them in order, then you'll lose the thread, if that makes sense. So the Vibrationship is a cross-veil communication course to teach novel skills and techniques and provide you with ideas about ways to connect across the veil meaningfully with those across the veil who you would like to communicate with, whomever that is. And what it is not is you having to watch people in breakout rooms practicing. That's not what this is. And the part of that is by design as well, besides just the fact that a lot of times you don't have someone to practice with. But there's 100, 200, 1,000 other courses out there where you can participate in breakout rooms if you want practice. But at the end of the day, it's an independent course of study between us and the spirit world. And I do want you to, if I could encourage you, it is to invite someone, whomever it is, whether that's Nikola Tesla or John F. Kennedy or Amelia Earhart or Cleopatra or your mother, father, sister, brother, husband, child, best friend in spirit. Invite someone when you're watching, invite someone in spirit to watch with you, to help amplify your comprehension. What if that could work? It certainly isn't going to work if you don't invite. And you don't know what will happen if you do. But it takes an invitation. So my strongest encouragement is that you invite someone to watch each of the sessions with you and ask them to amplify the way that you take in the information so that it becomes more meaningful and useful to you. And it's important, the one other thing I wanted to say is you might hear references to this. I use a construct of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. And I like that construct, that mental image of all of us, all of the students coming together at the round table. So in the actual live course, I ask people to choose a knight name. Sir laughs a lot, Sir amazing, Sir, I'm Sir Green because of Froggy. but people choose a night name, and you might want to choose a night name. If you're a knight at the round table, the Vibrationship round table, and you're sitting with the people that you love across the veil and anyone else who serves the light who may want to help you, invite them to take the journey with you. And there's something lovely about giving yourself a night name so that you shift the frequency just a little bit, right? It's like putting the wedge in so that something else might be cracked open. So I wanted you, in the event that you hear me reference King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, you'll understand what that's about. And just take the ride. There are, as in the live course, every week I send out handouts, educational materials, PDF reading documents, for two purposes. One, to give people a cumulative library at the end of the course. And two, it creates talking points for us during the course. But you don't need those in order to have this be a benefit to you. These just on-demand videos will be a benefit regardless of having those reading materials. But sometimes I don't want you to feel like, okay, I'm missing something. So I just want to tell you sort of what was going on in real time and behind the curtain is in the live class. We have the class, I record it, and I send it out within 24 hours to the class, the recording of the class. Invariably, people would watch the recording again, and I would include in that their quote unquote homework, which is the reading for the week. And it's more about things like understanding that the imagination is more than the imagination, for example, and how spirit uses our imagination as a port of entry, if you will. So I believe that as you watch, you will be, on day one, you will be a beginner like everyone that's in the recording. And cumulatively to week 10 or day 10, you will have access and a working knowledge of how to use these tools. But I cannot urge you strongly enough to please watch the Gematria video. It will help make some things more sense. It isn't the only tool, but it's an extraordinary tool. So I highly recommend that. And again, you can find that on my website under Press and Media. The top, there's a link to my YouTube page, and it's on that YouTube page. Or you can just search YouTube, Cheryl Page, using the ancient art of Gematria for spirit communication. That's the other way to find it. So I've gone now, look at that, 23 minutes. Anyway, I hope that this is helpful. I'm hoping that it is also helpful that you can purchase these one at a time, because if you listen to day one and it's not interesting to you, then no harm, no foul. It's not a huge investment of time or energy or money. And yet you also, if money's tight, then you can just purchase them at will, on demand. And the one last thing I wanted to say is to understand that if you should be able to, when you purchase, let's just say day one, when you purchase the first episode, you should be able to, one, view it, but you should also be able to download it to your computer. It's not just on demand on my website. You should be able to download it and keep it. And if there's a challenge, if you're having trouble with the downloading, you should be able to, through the website, you should be able to send me a communication and I can reload so that you have more opportunities to attempt to download. So I'm available. I'm I'm not a mucky muck person. I'm just little old me. My team, besides the team across the veil, is me, myself, and I. So pretty humble endeavor here. A lot of duct tape and baling wire and love and chocolate going into creating this. I'm going to stop sharing. I think that there I am. Hi, guys. So thank you for listening for 25 minutes of your life. And if you need anything, you can reach out and let me know. But I'm hoping, rather than sending it as a package, that's still whatever, 35 times 10, that's $350. That's a big amount of money for some of us. So $35 a piece, it seems like it's an easier pill to swallow. And if you get in through a couple and it's not your cup of tea, then you haven't invested a huge amount of time and money. That was my intention. So I hope this is helpful. I hope that you will consider the possibility of building a vibration ship. Building a vibration ship is just like building a relationship with those we love across the veil. And they still exist. And if we don't reach out, then we don't have access. But there are ways to enhance our capacity to have access. And that's the hope and the intent and the mission of this Vibrationship course, is to give you tools that are maybe not the tools that you're hearing out there. You don't have to become a medium in order to have access to your loved ones across the veil. So I hope this is helpful. I hope that you'll reach out to me if you have questions, and so much more is possible than we could ever have imagined. It's so exciting. And I know that it can be frustrating, and I know that grief can get in the way, but they are standing there. I promise you, they're standing there at the ready, wanting to help us. And all we have to do is ask. And I can want to build a shed all I want, but if I don't have the tools and I don't have the skills, then I sort of don't have a shed. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, blessings to you. Thank you for stopping by. And what if? What if this is possible? What if this is real? What if we really do have access and they really still are here and waiting to help? So blessings on your journey. If I can be of service, you let me know. And away we go. Thanks, guys.